We love to buy, but we hate being sold. At least that's the accepted story. So what triggers that purchase behavior? Well, there's a switch that you've got to flip to make them want to take out the credit card, throw it at you, and beg them to take your money. At least it feels like it can be that simple sometimes. So what's the difference in throwing the credit card and begging you to take their money and not really caring about your offer? Well, it really boils down to one thing. Hey there and welcome. I'm Penny Kelly, and I'm a marketing strategist and founder here at Marketing Profit School. I am so excited to have you with me today. These are strategies that I've taught hundreds of entrepreneurs, and they're from real life experience, from 20 plus years of experience in the marketplace. So let's dive back into our content, and real quick, go ahead and subscribe, click that bell, and you'll get notified when new videos drop so you don't miss a thing. So let's go back into what is that one thing that makes the difference in throwing them your credit card, throwing you. So what is that switch, you say? Belief. Now, sure, you've heard of know, like, and trust, right? Well, your audience has to come to know you, and then they get to like you, and then once they begin to trust you, you can actually start making some sales. You're going to get people who are willing to buy from you. But there's another layer mixed in with that. It's like a scrim across the stage in the theater. Like you can see that other thing that's behind it, but not quite. And that's where belief comes in. So the truth is that even if they trust you, if they don't truly believe that your solution is going to solve their problem, they are never going to buy. They may like you a whole lot and they may trust you for some things, but they have to have that trust and they have to believe that this is not only going to work, but going to work for them. So how do you make that happen? Well, maybe you've heard the marketing story about no one ever shopped for a drill. They wanted to put a hole in the wall, so they had to go get a drill so they could put a hole in the wall, right? So they just need to believe that your drill is actually going to put a hole in their wall. That's it. It's really not super complicated, as most things in sales and marketing are not. We tend to overcomplicate it. So there are different ways you can show people this to build that belief. You can show them with your expertise, right? You can show them with results from other clients, case studies or testimonials, things like that. And you can show them with data, with numbers, with facts, with results from the marketplace, with metrics. So there are a lot of ways to build that belief. And ultimately, the belief has to come from someone they identify with. It's what Eugene Schwartz called a common bond. So if you are selling to a specific segment of the audience, show them prior clients who have some similarities with them. And this is another strong argument for niching down in the marketplace. You may want to go narrower than you think you need to in the beginning so that you can get really specific for that common bond in the marketplace. Then you can expand beyond that once you have a foundational base of customers or clients. So again, not super complicated, pretty easy to understand, and it just takes a few steps to get there. Now, what do you do if you don't have testimonials yet, or if you don't have a lot of data? You can show market data, and you can just show your expertise. And that should be good enough to get the first few sales, and then you can start getting some testimonials and some case studies. So again, not that difficult. So think about it like this. Let's say you're going to sell a DIY home project for a weekend project, and you want to sell it to beginners. So you're going to need the audience to believe that they can get the supplies and complete the project in a weekend, even if they've never done this before, because it's beginners, right? Now, if your project is for an experienced DIYer, then you might say something like, if you've done X or Y, then Z is going to be a breeze. Piece of cake for you, right? So you're giving them something they know to compare it to, and then giving them what that result is expected to be for them so that they have a reasonable expectation of the outcome. Have you heard of a big promise or a bold promise? A lot of people talk about that in their marketing. So this is really the crux for you on the belief. They have to believe that your bold promise can be a reality for them. That's the difference. That's the difference in making the sales. Right there. They have to believe that it's going to work for them. And if you don't do that, you're just not going to make the sales. You're going to make some, right? Like if your product is good, if your offer is good, if you get results for people, but using a little bit of the language to illustrate for people that this is possible and it's possible for them. And this is where, again, niching down, getting very specific with your audience can help you do that more easily, especially in the beginning. Now, if you're enjoying this, if you've gotten some benefit from it, please share it. Share it with a friend who you think it would help. I appreciate the shares, and your friend will appreciate getting the information to help them make more sales in their business. So I always think of this, and I always think about the scene in the movie The Santa Claus, where Judy, the elf, is explaining to newly Santa Claus minted Tim Allen that seeing isn't believing. Believing is seeing. So think about it. Really think about it. If you watch that with your kids, right? Really think about that statement. We convince ourselves to do all kinds of crazy things because we believe it's going to work. A fad diet, an exercise routine, whatever it might be, right? We believe it's going to work, so we give it a go and we give it our all. So seeing is believing isn't necessarily true for most adults. If we truly believe it, we will see that possibility for ourselves. That's the power of our mind and our imagination. So this is the work that you get to do with your audience and your prospective clients so that they believe what you're going to do is going to solve their problem or help them achieve their goal. Now, none of this is really difficult. It doesn't have to be difficult. It does require a couple of persuasion skills, and it really, most importantly, requires a deep knowledge of your audience. So if you haven't done a really good job with your audience research, now's the time to roll up your sleeves and get back in there and do that research. That'll be my homework for you for this week, is to do that research. You want to have an intimate knowledge of the conversations that are already going on in their head. They're having those conversations in their head. You just need to know what they are so you can jump right in there, walk up to them at the water fountain, join that conversation going on in their head. And that is the first step to getting into that belief cycle, is using the language they're already using to talk about the problem they want to solve or the goal they want to achieve. They're either relieving pain or achieving a gain, one of the two, with your solution. And when you can use their own language in your marketing, you're going to make it that much easier for yourself to close sales. Because remember, closing sales is all about them believing you. So your believability comes from you mastering their language. Now, I hope that you've enjoyed this. If you have, please, again, share it with someone that might appreciate it or might get some benefit from it. And if you need help growing your business, getting past those 5K or 10K months to the next level, then check the description of this video and check out my quiz or anything else I have going on that I can offer you for that. In addition, make sure you subscribe and click that bell so that you don't miss a single video. And again, I am Penny Kelly with Marketing Profit School. Thanks for your time. I appreciate you hopping in and watching, and I will see you on next week's video.